Okay, next, also notice if you create HDRI lighting, your custom, you cannot submit your filter with your HDRI lighting. So let's go ahead now on tools, and we'll look on options. We'll look before in options when we look in render type. Let's go from interface. And interfaces have a simple notifications you can enable, disable, as well if you like with some other application, invert your mouse when you're zooming. It's where you're going. As well, additional options for the mouse. So filter editor, this is apply again if you use a standard or professional edition. The mostly you want to keep it by default. The one thing I want to mention right here, we have direction to connection, and right now you can go from the left and drag the arrow and connect it to the right. You can switch from right to left, and this is very useful if you're native to other languages where you're writing from right to left. So it's depend actually on your habit or how you like to do. You can change directions of your flow. This is very nice addition, and I saw on a few applications who actually consider this, and I have people who really like that you can switch from the direction of connections. Okay, we have it in render where we can specify a load on our CPUs. Mostly, if you want to render on background till you do some other modeling or anything, you can set as a single CPU core so it doesn't hang down your machine. Or in my cases right now, I'm using all CPUs. Normal map is what I said before. It's when you start creating. In most cases, you probably want to use it OpenGL, and mostly if you work with Macintosh stuff. DirectX is useful if you work with precisely game creation. I think it's some Unity engine or other ones will utilize DirectX, but in many cases, OpenGL it's probably what you want to use for normal. Okay, we have all optimizations enabled. Also, a generate sample. You want to maybe increase this if you have it some issue with parent, how the anti-aliasing applied. My temporal allocation by default, as well if you have it a larger amount of the image, how I said before, over 3000 pixels, you probably want to increase your RAM usage, a little bit pop up, so you won't have a problem with run out of memory when you start rendering. Anti-aliasing source for the bitmap, you want to apply it. If you're using most of the time, you disable. And if you look on all these options, as a default, they're actually preset to the work very optimum. And sometimes you maybe just want modified if you work on specific project, but overall you probably just want to leave it this as set. Okay, let's look on scripts, and with scripts we mostly will work with a filter editor. Just a couple things, keep it unchecked, enable execution unsafe scripts. This is very smart way to load it unknown script of the filter, and you can verify that it's still loaded this filter, so you can open and verify it. Be sure it doesn't do any unwanted activity on your computer. Okay, gamma correction, in many cases we call it workflow, and right now all applications try to optimize and be sure your all colors on your textures or rendering kind of going with same workflow on this. And currently it's a standard gamma set 2.2. The one thing only to keep it in mind, then when you work in other applications, and I'll show as example in the Vue or maybe Maya, when you start working with texture, be sure you set your textures was rendered with correct workflow so it doesn't overcompensate or it will look very washed out. Okay, we also have it online options that we can check automatic updates or sending user stats. And I recommend you to participate to send user stats. It's very anonymous, but it will help to track, see people who spend a lot of time on creating good filters. They actually will be rewarded for this. So just be sure you're sending stats of the filters what you're using. Okay, download the filters, since how I mentioned I have my local library right here, but in this case I can go ahead on a website and using the website filters, and we'll look on this one in our next section of tutorial. Okay, and everything else set by default. Again, if you modify something and you don't know what you did, you always can reset your settings, so it will just help you go back to your original settings. In your help button, you can load it manual preview, which I recommend to read and go over. It's very helpful and very nice detailed, as when we can access to website, forum, contact creator, or look on your license or additional information. Thank you for watching this tutorial from Geekatplay Studio. Please remember, visit us on the web is www.geekatplay.com.